Megan here. This video is on dopamine, right? I'm amazed at some of the messages I'm getting. Obviously, you guys know the deal now. All my videos are based on the bulk of messages I'm receiving. And I like that idea. It works pretty well because it allows me to answer a lot of questions in just one video. And since it's based on messages that I get a lot, I could just refer people to that video instead of answering them over and over again. So that's the perfect compromise. All right, and most of the questions I'm getting obviously is on motivation and things like that. And I was amazed because I figured 90% of people by now will know what dopamine is. At least the basic functions of dopamine. And every time I would ask them, well, how are your dopamine levels or blah blah blah. More often than not, I would get, what is dopamine? What do you mean? And I'm like, what? Like, I mean, I don't expect people to know the brain from top to bottom, even though that will really help you in life. But some of the basic things about the human body you should know, guys. I mean, that's just unacceptable. You don't have to be a biochemist. You don't have to be a scientist. Some of the basic things about how your brain operates, you should just know. Take a day out of your fucking schedule, right? And just watch a TED talk, go to Wikipedia, pull up, open YouTube and just learn the essentials, just the basics. You don't have to know everything, but learn the basics. Dopamine, you have no excuse. You must know what dopamine is. You should know what serotonin is, oxytocin, all the basic things. The fancy shit, leave that to the scientists. But the things that will help you in life and that have such a huge effect on your behavior, I expect everyone to know these things, right? But instead of ranting, I was like, just make a quick video again, just like the fat loss one, um, and then just break it down, right? So I drew this one real fast, and let's try to get to the bottom of this. Let me set the timer so I don't go on forever. Where's the fucking timer? Where's the timer? I can't fucking find it. But anyway, so dopamine. Let's start from scratch. I'm trying so hard to keep it as simple as possible. But we have your brain here. Obviously, your brain is here, and this fucker produces dopamine, right? It's in response to obviously you guys know almost everything is synthesized from amino acids. So I put it down here at the bottom, right? Let's say you eat some fish. The body would take the fish, break it down into protein, the protein from the fish, turn into amino acids, turn that into phenylalanine, into tyrosine, blah blah blah, all the fancy geeky stuff, right? Then obviously if you have enough insulin in your blood, that's gonna clear out the competing amino acids because you guys know amino acids compete in the blood for digestion, and this will allow phenylalanine and tyrosine to be carried by the LNAA transporter, which is the large neutral amino acid transporter, and that would carry those things into the brain or into the gut. I don't want to go into details. And in the brain, those two amino acids will be converted eventually into L-dopa and then dopamine, right? And then eventually everybody knows dopamine becomes adrenaline and noradrenaline, depending on which country you're in, you call it differently. But we focusing on dopamine today, right? What does dopamine does? For most of you guys that know, I'm gonna try to keep it simple so you're not bored. But for you guys who don't, it's really the pleasure hormone. It's also the motivation hormone. It does a lot of things. It's a hormone. It's a neurotransmitter. In short, it's what helps you repeat behaviors, right? When you feel pleasure from sex, look at this fucker right here with his tongue out, from sex, from eating food, playing video games, drugs. Don't do drugs, fuckers. Sports, what makes you excited about watching football or soccer or boxing, all these things, right? Whenever you feel that this high, this huge, this surge of pleasure, dopamine has a lot to play in it. It's one of the main neurotransmitters when it comes to pleasure. So it also, most people only focus on the pleasure aspect. They forget that it's also responsible for motivation. When you have the motivation to get up and go to the gym, that's dopamine. When you pumped up to go to a soccer game or to go play basketball with your friends, that's dopamine. When you motivate it to go outside and hang out, whatever, anything that produces pleasure, right? The motivation to do that thing will come from dopamine. And what that does is it helps you repeat the behavior over and over again. That's why drugs tend to fuck up your dopamine pathways because it leads to a buildup of dopamine and then you just keep injecting yourself over and over again. Blah blah blah, right? Once again, trying to keep the video short. So why is dopamine so important for everything? Bodybuilding, losing weight, going to school. If you don't get a big enough dopamine response from something, chances are you won't repeat it. Remember, it's the neurotransmitter that makes you repeat behaviors. So if you do something that doesn't spike dopamine enough, chances are you won't repeat that behavior. If you do something that spikes dopamine, everybody's different, right? But most of us, sex and food spike the shit out of dopamine. But for example, let's look at video games. Some people might play a basketball game and not get too excited. You would check their brain, scans and shit. You'll notice that they're not getting a big dopamine spike from playing that game, but they might get it from playing Call of Duty. So guess what happens when they do play Call of Duty? They get that huge spike in dopamine, and then boom, they're addicted. They keep playing over and over and over again. Everyone is different when it comes to those. You know, it's a function of interest. But as far as sex and food and things like that, that's almost everybody. We get a response from doing those things. So what does that have to do with? Obviously, I also drew dopamine here. It's produced here, sometimes in your adrenal glands, and it goes to different regions of your brain and does different shit, right? But most importantly, we focus on the reward center. We focus on the pleasure aspect of dopamine. So why is that important for the people that message me about depression and motivation and all those things? This is what I'm referring to when I say, what are your dopamine levels like? If you trying to start a daily routine, or you trying to become disciplined in a new field, or you trying to, I don't know, find a motivation to do certain things, if you're not getting a dopamine spike from doing those things, you're not gonna last. We all know consistency is the biggest thing when it comes to achieving any goal. It's not IQ, it's not strength. It's just consistency, staying consistent. And we also know as humans, it's hard for us to stay consistent in things we have no passion about, things that we don't get pleasure from doing. You don't have to ask. You don't say, Megan, I need motivation to play my video games. Why? Because you're getting enough dopamine from playing that video game. So it's natural. You don't work hard to play your video game. You're getting pleasure from it. So how do you use that in your everyday life? Simple. Use the Pavlov effect that I was talking about. Find a way to make this new journey that you on, whether it's a fat loss journey or a muscle building journey or trying to learn about whatever. Find a way to make that process pleasurable, right? Find a way to spike dopamine as you're doing that thing, right? So if you're trying to learn, if you're trying to start reading or you're trying to start jogging, but it's a pain in the ass and you hate it, well, find a way to attach jogging with something that spikes dopamine. This way you create this nice Pavlov effect and you become addicted to jogging indirectly. You get what I mean? That's why I keep telling people music. Music is everything. Music is one of the things that spikes dopamine in humans, along with laughter and things like that. So this is why every time I do my jump rope, I have my favorite playlist on. This is why when I go to the gym, you will not see me in the gym without my phone, my gym playlist, right? Why? Because I attach the activities that I don't want to do sometimes with pleasurable activities. This way my brain doesn't think, hey man, let's go do a full body workout, which fucking kicks ass sometimes. But my brain thinks, let's go listen to that, badass playlist. I go to the gym, I put the headphones on, press play, the music is on. It's a song that I specifically put in there to pump me up. What happens? Dopamine goes up while I'm in the gym, which creates an association with the gym. So I end up falling in love with my workouts. It's not every day you're gonna love your workouts. You have to find ways to trick and manipulate your brain into loving the things that you know you must do. Sometimes I just hate doing my jump roping on my sprints, but I go out there with a specific playlist, or I look at certain images that motivate me. Whatever, anything that's gonna spike your dopamine is gonna increase motivation, it's gonna increase pleasure, and it's gonna make the behavior repeatable. So whenever you message me and I mention dopamine, come back to this video if you haven't, and you know, get to the bottom of everything, right? Make sure before you even try to embark on any journey, you understand how dopamine works and you find ways to manipulate it. Even homework, I hate doing homework. And the semester's about to start soon. How do I get my homework done? Simple. The place where I do my homework, I have my music there. I have images that pump me up in the fucking background. I surround myself with things that spike dopamine, and it makes the activity so much more enjoyable and therefore repeatable. All right, guys, hope that helps. Sorry the video is longer than I expected, but if you want me to go into more details on how to spike dopamine, the different things that increase it, such as music and streaks. If you go jogging every day and you put that in your calendar, and you check it off each time, that actually increases dopamine. Dopamine goes up when your body notices, when your brain notices that you're gaining momentum or something. When you, like I said, when you're running through a streak, when you doing something new, when you're doing something unexpected, something thrilling, all these things spark dopamine. If you want, I'll make a separate video explaining all the ways to increase it. But this video is just on dopamine 101, how it works, and how it's crucial for any goal, whether it's bodybuilding or life or anything, right? And don't forget, right? Dopamine comes from food. You need amino acids to go through this whole conversion process and become dopamine. So if you're not eating enough, then don't even waste your fucking time, right? Atoms don't just appear out of nowhere. So make sure you're getting enough protein. Don't stress it. The average protein you're getting should have enough tyrosine, enough phenylalanine, and your body will take care of the conversion process. But that's it, guys. Hope this video helps. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good shit. I'm out. Other segments. So go in the comment section and just vote. Vote on what you think is your most requested topic. And then obviously the one that has the most likes are the ones I'm going to prioritize. In case, let's say